Anthony Adebayo.
With you there, but if you're a coach, do you take that chance?
Yes. You can reach us at the Off the Record Show at gmail.com. Anthony Adebayo and the most accurate sports coverage. Scotty B's Fantasy 5.
We're different from any other sport.
His sophomore year. Comes back and says, you know what?
And your boy, Scotty B. Oh. What's going on, man? It's Off the Record. I'm Anthony Adebayo.
It's your boy, Scotty B. And before we get into it, I got an announcement to make. Our good friend Charles Shire is hiring. I told him as a promotion, as a free promotion, that I was going to open up with that. No horns, no hand claps, nothing, huh?
Well, you didn't tell me you were doing anything. I didn't know.
I don't think nobody knew I was doing it. They thought I was joking. They thought I was joking.
Get some applause. You know, support black business.
That was brown. That was brown nosing at its finest, right?
Hey, look, man.
Hey, you can call it what it is.
No. You gotta do what you gotta do to get ahead, man. You know, hey, man. Listen. I get it. I totally understand. I ain't hating. You know? So again, this is Off the Record. I'm Anthony Adebayo.
All right, man. Let's get right into it, man.
Who are you? People don't know who you are.
I've said my name once, but I'll say it again. Scotty B. Yeah, you missed that.
Know what? Hey,
I threw you.
Don't start your stuff today, okay? Don't start.
I threw you off with that introduction.
Okay. Now, with that being said, that is Scotty B, from Scotty B Enterprises, and he is doing self promotion. All right, man. So let's get to the sports, man. So we'll say this is episode 199. You know, I haven't done that in a while. This is episode 199, and we almost at 200. I tell y'all now that next week we aren't having a show. We are taking a week off because we need it. And
yeah, that's 7 years strong.
Yeah.
7 years.
So we took a little break, but you know we're gonna take a break next week. We ain't so we're gonna make sure that we provide with great content and a great debate. I think we have one coming up soon. But let's get started. Do you want to start the draft right now?
Well, you know where I want to start. I want to start with Aaron Rodgers. This is going to lead into the draft. What do you think about what's going on with Green Bay?
Huh. Well, the same thing I thought before, that he's being disrespected.
Okay,
Go ahead.
Okay. Let's start there. Do you think he's being a little bit sensitive about what's going on?
No. And I think that anyone that thinks he's being sensitive, is pro team and not pro player, because again, if you look any average quarterback in the situation that he's in, they would have got rid of him quick, fast, in a hurry. They didn't provide him with no help. I mean, well, let me not say they didn't provide him with no help. They didn't provide him with help that he may need to get to that next level, whatever that next level is. We know Aaron Rodgers is one of the greatest ever, and you know the fact that he's never thrown to a first round pick says a lot. I mean, people can say, "Oh, but Devontae Adams was a second round pick and he's baller." You know, Jordy Nelson was a baller. X, Y, and Z, and that's fine. That is fine. But when you know you need another receiver, a number 2 receiver, and you're not providing that, and you're providing, you trade up to get a quarterback when Jefferson was on the board, Rager was on the board. They had a chance to draft DK Metcalf at one point. I mean, you had all these guys that are top receivers that could have easily been first round picks, and not get them any help. Even a running back, they haven't even gotten him a first round running back. So and let's be honest, with Green Bay, running backs now are getting, especially in the first round, they're getting drafted later on in the first round. And Green Bay normally picks later on in the first round. So to not get at least a running back, it's crazy. So yeah, no, he's not being sensitive. He's feeling the way he's feeling mistreated, as he should.
So I get all that, right? And actually understand that, and I halfway agree with you. But part of me, it appears like he's seeing the end, and he's seeing his entire football life, right, flash before his eyes. He's arguably one of the greatest quarterbacks ever to play the game. I mean, people could argue him, they could argue Tom Brady, they could argue whoever. But the one thing that sticks out on his resume is Super Bowl rings. And I think he's starting to realize that it may not get done with Green Bay, that he may have to go elsewhere to get that, because he does need to, I guess, be solidified in that greatest of all time argument. I feel like part of it is to help write that narrative that maybe Green Bay didn't do enough when he was in his prime. And I felt pretty strongly about that. Another thing that a lot of people are bringing up too is him and the GM don't get along. They keep saying that it's kind of like a Jerry Krause situation out there in Green Bay, to where he just he's constantly mocking him. He doesn't have any respect for him, and that's a huge reason to why he really wants to be out, is because of his relationship with the front office. I, for the most part, am okay with him coming public and saying that he wasn't happy. I wish that he would have done it a lot sooner. I don't know if everybody's heard about his comments with Brett Favre. Well, Brett Favre's comments about how that he's pretty stubborn, and once he gets something stuck in his mind, that he's not going to bend. So I think for the most part, his time in Green Bay is going to come to an end. It's just with who. Look at the suitable suitors. You got Denver out there. You've got Oakland out there. I was hoping that San Francisco could have put together a package deal, and it looks like John Lynch and Kyle Shanahan did try to attempt to put together some sort of deal, but when they called Green Bay was like, nah, not a chance. You're not getting it. I think personally, John Gruden will probably do anything that he can do to in his power to get Aaron Rodgers. A lot of people say that John Gruden really has been chasing that great quarterback since he's coached Brett Favre. And whatever quarterback he hasn't quite measured up to Brett Favre. I think that the Raiders, they probably need to shake some things up so that they could be successful. They had a pretty decent draft. I mean, depending on how you look at it, and I think Aaron Rodgers is the perfect person to take them to the next level. Denver, I think they're ready-made. I think that Denver, obviously passing on all the quarterbacks that they pass on in the actual draft, they're the most ready situation to where he could just come in. The defense looks good. They made some pretty solid drafts. That receiving core is phenomenal. I believe they drafted a running back as well, and the offensive line is pretty steady. So I think he can make some noise if he was to somehow get to Denver. Now, with the cost of Aaron Rodgers to bring him to your team, I don't know what the cost would be. Maybe possibly a first rounder. That could be a lot to give up for an aging quarterback that, he's got probably 3, maybe 4 good years left. You also look at the Washington football team. The Washington football team, with that stout defense and what they were able to find in their offensive weapons last year with Logan Thomas and Scary Terry, and you started to look at the running back combination that they have. He'd be a good fit to me in the NFC East, and it'll be interesting to see if they package some deals to see if they can get him. I know they got Ryan Fitzpatrick, and I do feel like that was a good move. I feel like Ryan Fitzpatrick is better than any quarterback that they had on the roster throughout the year. But, Aaron Rodgers, shoot, I think any team out there would take him. So I'm not quite sure where Ant went. But I guess I'll start with the draft. For the most part, I like the draft this year. I'm going to save a little bit of commentary for when he gets back, but I felt like it was a change in the guard for the receivers in the draft. It was good to see some of the smaller guys get an opportunity. Typically, guys that are under 6 foot and, weigh under 200 pounds, they typically don't go get in the first round. Unless they're a phenomenal talent. But it was good seeing that Waddle, he's going to go to Philadelphia, and it was good to see Devontae Smith and some of the other guys. So I think it is a changing, and it has a lot to do with the way the football is being played now, just in the simple fact that, the receivers and the quarterback is being protected. So it's opened up a lot of the offense plays. But, yeah, you're back, man. Thank God you're back. I've finished the Aaron Rodgers discussion, so that's over.
What did I miss? Technology sucks sometimes, but whatever.
So I decided that the 3 top suitors are Denver, the Raiders, and Washington.
I agree.
Yeah,
I think it's Denver. I think it's Denver, and everybody else is just for play. I think it's gonna be Denver.
Yeah, I agree that Denver's probably the best. If I'm Aaron Rodgers, I would want to go to Denver. I think the Raiders should throw the kitchen sink at Green Bay. I really do. I think that John Gruden, he needs something. He needs something out there. And I think that they got Aaron Rodgers that possibly could put them in a playoff hunt. I feel like the Redskins, I keep saying Redskins, the Washington football team has a ton of talent. I like what they did in the draft, and I like how they've been able to assemble their team. I think they're a quarterback away. So if they could put in a package deal and bring Aaron Rodgers to DC, it'd be good. I started talking about the receivers, the run of the receivers, and how a lot of the smaller receivers, man, it was a small victory for them. They were able to really just, they took, other than the quarterback, the small receivers had a fantastic draft. But who do you think won the draft? What team do you feel won the draft this year?
All right, so I have a few teams. I have a few teams, and you may agree or disagree. That's why we're here. I think that so go ahead, call me a homer now, but I think the Cowboys had a fantastic draft. I think that I like what Chicago did in regards to the draft, getting 2 offensive linemen and Justin Fields. I think that was a good move. Who else do I think won the draft?
So let's start with the teams that you said, right?
Mm-hmm.
So the Cowboys, I agree, had a fantastic draft. The holes and the players that they were able to get in this draft for that defense and still address some of the concerns that they had on the offensive line.
Mm-hmm.
I felt like they addressed a lot of team needs. That Seattle defense with it just smells like Seattle. It smells like Seattle's old defense. You look at the guy Parsons. I mean, he's a spitting image of Bobby Wagner. Now, will he be as good as Bobby Wagner? I mean, that's a tall order. Huh?
Yeah, I mean, but
that's a lot to ask. But he resembles Bobby Wagner. And you look at some of those the guy that they got out of Kentucky. He's his physique is like Richard Sherman. The other guy I looked at, he looks like what's his name, Bronner, or what's that guy's name that was on the other side of Sherman, tall guy, Bronner,
Browner,
yeah,
Brandon,
yeah, Brandon Bronner. So the Cowboys, I mean, we're both, aside from the Washington football team getting Aaron Rodgers.
That's not him.
What's not him?
Aaron Rodgers is not going to Washington.
Hey, anything can happen.
Aaron Rodgers is not going to, if he's not in Green Bay, he's not going to be in the NFC. Green Bay would be crazy to trade him to a team in the NFC.
Hey, I've seen stranger things happen. I didn't think Deshaun Watson would be going to massage parlors. I've seen stranger or getting masseuse flown to his house. I've seen stranger stuff, man. But if you look at the Giants, I think they're pretty comfortable with their draft. And you look at the Eagles. I think the Eagles had a pretty comfortable draft. But if you pair the defensive players that the Cowboys got with the offense that they had with a healthy Dak, the offensive lineman coming back healthy, the personnel changes that they were able to get in the draft, and if they can just tweak the defense, because it's going to be young, but if that defense can mold, you've got a playoff contender. I mean, that's a playoff contender team based off of what I saw in the draft.
I agree. I don't want to because if I say anything other than I agree, you're gonna look at me crazy, and I'm enjoying this, So continue. I'm just listening.
Oh yeah, the 49ers, man. I feel like they had the best draft. Did I not say that? Hey, I wanted them to take Trey Lance. I didn't think they were going to do it, but they did it.
Who'd you think they were going to take?
I thought they were going to go Mack Jones. And
that's why I disagree, because I'm like, to me, it was always Trey Lance or Justin Fields. I did not think one way at all that they were going to trade up to number 3 to take Mack Jones. I think they could have stayed where they were at to get Mack Jones.
So the 49ers, this is the thing about this draft, right? Mm-hmm. If Justin Fields balls out and has a better career than Trey Lance, we would be talking about this draft 10 years, as 49er fans. 10 years from now, we would be talking about this draft. Because we would have had I'm just saying, I personally, if I was in Lynch's shoes, I would have picked Trey Lance too. I think Trey Lance has the most upside out of all those quarterbacks, and I think he fits in the Kyle Shanahan system. I mean, he's the perfect fit for it, and I think that he's going to have the opportunity to sit. I think Jimmy G is going to come back and he's going to ball, because that pressure is on his neck, bro. He's got to ball out. He's got.
I mean, he knows
out.
what the writing's on the wall. I mean, you draft a quarterback at number 3, he's pretty much out the door. I mean, this is his last year in San Francisco. I don't think that. I think he understands that as well, and it will be in his best interest to just, I don't want to say play the part, but go and do his job. You know, he's gonna play, and he's had a good career. I mean, clearly, I've said it before, like when Jimmy G plays, San Francisco normally wins. They win a lot more with him than without him. So yeah. I do want to go ahead.
No, I mean, you're right. He has played phenomenal, and he's been the ultimate professional. I mean, each year we've tried to get rid of him. I mean, last year we made a run at Tom Brady too. You know what I mean? And we were pretty public that we made a run at Aaron Rodgers, and we mortgaged our future and went up and got Trey Lance. So I mean, yeah, the writing has always been on the wall.
Absolutely.
For him. I think, like you said, he has the skills to ball out, but he's got to respond to the pressure. The pressure is on him. And I think most 49er fans are comfortable with Jimmy G having a good year and sitting Trey Lance and having him develop. What was that? I just saw something about Keith Sweat and Gerald.
Yeah, is one of my coaches, man. He's a jerk, man. He's So look, I got a question. So I did see someone, Kurt, said Mack Jones will have, and I was gonna get to this, right? So out of all the quarterbacks chosen, the 5 in the first round, I think it was 3 in the third round or fourth round, whatever it was. I think let's take Trevor Lawrence out of this. I think that Trevor Lawrence is set up to have a pretty good career, right? I think he said
and we can agree. He's going.
Yeah, I think he's set up to have a Andrew Luck, Peyton Manning. One of those, he's gonna have a good career. I don't think he has bust written on him. Let's take Trevor Lawrence out of this. I think out of all the other quarterbacks that were taken, I think that the quarterback that's gonna have the best career is Kellen Mond. I think he's gonna be a star for Minnesota. I think he's gonna be a star, man.
I mean, I've heard that too.
I think he's gonna be. I've watched him play, multiple times over the last few years, and that kid is good. He's good. I mean, going into his college career, if he had, they had some rough years, but the last 2 years that he played, he gonna be a good quarterback, man. I mean, the people that compare him to Dak, but I mean, I can see that, and Dak's been a really good quarterback since he's been in the league. So, but I think Kellen Mond is gonna be the guy.
So here's the thing about Mack Jones. I do agree with Curtis that he's going to have a great career. I think that he fell to the right situation. I don't know if he would have had that same career had he been thrown to the fire or went to like the Jets or somebody like that. I think that him going to the Patriots is going to do wonders for his career. One thing and one reason I didn't want him is when I looked at film on him, is one thing that stood out to me. It looked like Alabama was just that much more superior than the teams that they were playing. So it was really hard to get a read on, is this guy that good or is the team really that good? Because this year, and me and you had talked about it earlier this year, that Alabama team is up there with one of the greatest college football teams of all time.
Absolutely.
It was loaded with NFL talent from top to bottom.
Absolutely.
At some point watching film on Mack Jones, I felt like I could get out there and throw a couple of passes. That's just how good the team looked. And time will tell. I mean, maybe he is a really good quarterback, but it was hard. It was hard to look. You look at Justin Fields. I want to tell you the one thing that when I watched tape on him, the one thing that stuck out was that running back that we got. And I'm thinking Kyle Shanahan and John Lynch were thinking the same thing. Is what is that guy's name? I guess not Bennett, but what's the guy's name? Starts with a B, but we got him in the third round. And that running back was nothing but the truth. And every time I watched tape with Justin Fields,
you always see the running back.
I always saw the running back. And it is no coincidence that we ended up taking him.
Yeah, no, you guys did have a good draft. I joke around and stuff, but y'all did have a good draft. It was a productive draft. One other team that I think, I don't know if it gets overlooked. I think Atlanta had a really good productive draft. I think that Atlanta's draft is kind of going like it's kind of getting swept under the rug, and I mean they got some quality picks, in the later rounds as well. I mean, and I think Kyle Pitts is arguably the best player in the draft.
Oh yeah, Atlanta did have a good draft. I think that they'll bounce back this season. They'll be competitive. They'll be in playoff contention. I think that I don't want to say it, but Matt Ryan, he just has too many weapons not to be successful. He's just, I mean, if all those guys stay healthy, it's a matchup nightmare on the offensive side of the field for the Atlanta Falcons.
Absolutely.
You're going to have to outscore them, and you're going to definitely you're going to have to figure out how to shut down those guys. And with Calvin Ridley, I mean, Julio Jones and Kyle Pitts, my God, who do you guard? And
no, they still have Gurley. They still have Gurley.
They still have Gurley, but I don't even want to put him in the mix. Gurley is close to being done. Gurley did not look. Gurley scored a lot of touchdowns last year, but as far as running the football, didn't look that effective last year. I think he only averaged like 3 yards a carry, and I forget the guy that was backing him up. I think he was starting to get more of the carries as the year progressed.
I agree about the Jets.
All right, so let's talk, right? Zach Wilson. You think this guy's the real deal?
No. Me personally, I see bust written all over this, but I like a lot of their other picks. I think this is a lot of media hype, and I think that Zach will. It just me personally, I just think he's not gonna. Yeah.
So the Jets won 2 games last year, right? I think Zach Wilson might get them over that hump. Might get them to 4 games. He might get them to 4 games. And I mean, they did a good job addressing needs, but it's just not there. I felt like Cleveland had a really good draft. I am officially off the Browns hating team, and I'm just going to start. I'm not going to root for them, but you can't. What they did with that secondary, they got a heck of a defense now. They have a really, really good defense, and I'm just going to go out there and say it. If it's one team in the AFC that I think can give the Chiefs a run for their money, it might be the Browns. It might be the Browns.
Hold on.
Might
Hold
be
on.
the Browns.
Hold on. You know what? Yep. Man.
It might.
What? Wow.
I was impressed with the draft. And if that team stays healthy and they play, it's going to be tough to stop them. It is going to be really, really, really tough to stop them. You still got Buffalo there. You still got the Ravens there. I did not like what the Steelers did. I like the running back that they got, but I felt like they waited too long to address their offensive line. I think that's going to kill them.
And you said who are you talking about? Oh, the Steelers.
Yeah, the Steelers. The Harris pickup was a good pickup, but they need an offensive lineman.
Right.
And that's. I mean, that offensive line was terrible last year.
The Browns are gonna be something. You know, I ain't even gonna say nothing because you call me a closet Browns fan, and
you are.
And,
you are. You are a closet Browns fan.
All right. Okay.
Oh, one other thing. The Chargers. Chargers had a good draft. Chargers had a really good draft.
All right, so you know what? Before we get to, we're gonna get to the win of the week in a second, right? And I guess, we like to talk to the people in the comments and everything. And Kurt, he keeps on bringing up Washington, and I'll say this: we've seen plenty of times with teams who normally are bad have a flash in the pan type season and they win a division. They won a division with 7 wins. So they weren't really that good. All right. So let's start there. They had a good front four. They had a good front four, a decent linebacking core, and their back four was not that good. They weren't that good. They benefited from having a dominant front four. But like we seen the 49ers the year before, and this is no shot at the 49ers, but injuries happen, right? So anything can happen. But it's rare that you see teams have followed a number. I don't even think they were the number one defense. But they were up there. They were. I think they were 2 or 3 or something. They were like top 5. I don't think that they're gonna be like, oh, they're not scaring anyone, right? They got Fitzpatrick at quarter. He's gonna be their starter, right? Right. Fitzpatrick, and we already know Fitzpatrick is good for 6 games, if that. He's a 6-game max per season guy, and they're either gonna go to the bench or they're gonna go to whatever. They're just gonna ride it out, and he's gonna stink it up. So to think that Washington is gonna go from 7 wins to 12 wins is absolutely crazy. And think, oh yeah, they got Curtis Samuel, and you think that that's scaring people is absolutely crazy. I mean, like, come on. Curtis Samuel is a good gadget guy, but he's not scaring anyone.
Okay, so this is where the Washington football team fans can have a little bit of hope. For the first time in a long time, they're building a football team the right way. And you can see it moving in the right direction. 12 wins, nah. But 10 is feasible. 11 might be a stretch, but if Fitzpatrick gets opportunity to be him, he can get him. He can get him at least 8 wins. He's better than any quarterback that they had on their roster last year, and gives them an opportunity to be competitive. And with the moves that they make,
I think that Heineke should get a shot. I think he should get a shot.
So here's my thing about that guy. It was. I'm sorry. I just, man, people. You know what? I'm turning over a new leaf. I have nothing nice to say. So, say it. Go ahead, say it. I mean, he had a good game, man. He had a good game, but he's. I mean, his name is Heineke. I think he's Heineken. He's a Heineken.
Oh shit!
He's the beer that you don't want to drink. He's a Heineken. Nah, I'm good. I'm good. I'm good. They did the right thing, man. They did the right thing, and all the Washington football team fans, man, they gotta quit with this, man. They gotta quit with this,
And then they want to take moral victory saying that he went head to head with Brady. Like,
yeah, okay.
The Bucks did not. They did not take that game serious, man. It was like, this is who we're facing. Okay.
Yeah, enough is enough, man. Enough is enough. That's like the years like when they had like John Beck and Rex Grossman, and they were trying to convince everybody that was the guy that was going to take them to the promised land. Nah,
Rex,
they're good, man. Yeah, they're good with Fitzpatrick. Heineken can sit back on the couch. He's good.
All right, so let me ask you this real quick. And then we'll get to the win of the week. Who do you have winning the NFC East?
The NFC East. Dang, yo. I don't even want to say it. I want to pass on that. No, I can't.
No.
I can't even go there.
All right. I'll say.
I can't even. I
got
go
the
there.
Cowboys winning the NFC East by at least 2 or 3 games. At the least 2 or 3 games.
I'm rooting for the Washington football team. Just out of it just can't go that way. It just wouldn't sound right saying the Cowboys are gonna win. But as a objective,
oh my
god, as an objective football fan, I can't discredit what they did in the draft. I think they had a really good draft.
You know what? Let's talk about the Giants real quick.
Let's talk about them.
No.
They got some receivers.
I'll say this. I think everybody when they drafted Tony out of Florida, even the guy in that was at the draft that they put the camera on that had on the Daniel Jones jersey, he was like, "What?" And I was like, "What?" They put on Tony's highlights. I was like, "Oh, damn, that boy can play. That boy can play."
Jacksonville thought that he was going to fall to him. They thought they was going to be able to get him out the second round. And Urban Meyer, I mean, yeah, he went on record. He said, man, it broke his heart. And I've never heard a coach right after the draft just say, like, yo, I really like that kid. I wish I could have got him.
Yeah, man. So that boy can move. He could fly. You know, and he kind of remind me of Tyreek Hill, and that's good. So I'll say this: right now he's more scarier than Curtis Samuel.
Come on, man.
All right, let's go to him. Let's go to him. I'm just picking.
No, you're a winner. No, you're a winner. No, you're a winner. No, you're a winner.
All right, yo. So this is one of those stories that kind of puzzles me, right? So my winner of the week this week is Rashad Weaver. If you don't know, that he's the 4th rounder of the Tennessee Titans, and the reason why he's my winner of the week is the day before the draft, he found himself in an assaulting a pregnant woman and giving her a concussion. And I mean, that's despicable, right?
Mm-hmm.
But then on top of that, you would do something like that the day before the draft, the day before the biggest day of your life. So not only are you a despicable human being, because nobody should ever, there's no excuse for hitting a pregnant woman and giving her a concussion, but you double down on it and you do it the day before the draft. I just thought it was just, he's absolutely my winner of the week this week, man. What are your thoughts on that, bro?
So I don't know all the details of this story, right? They witnesses said that they saw the woman fall to the ground but didn't see Weaver punch her. And man, it gets to the point where, like, a lot of these athletes, they gotta know when to get themselves out of certain situations, man. It's like his girlfriend is pregnant. his girlfriend is pregnant, and whatever the case may be, maybe it may be hormones or whatever, but you cannot, especially a pregnant woman, put your hands on her. You can't shake her up. You can't hit her. You can't do any of those things. You need to remove yourself from the situation. However that is, especially a day before the draft, right? You have to have more common sense to know, listen, let me get out of here because anything that's about to happen ain't gonna help me tomorrow or the day after or whenever I'm supposed to get drafted. So let me just leave. I'm not gonna hit you. Don't hit me. I won't hit you. And even if you do hit me, I'm leaving. I'm out of here. And like these guys and gals, because they are, we've seen some women or professional athletes, women professional athletes go through the same thing. You got to remove yourself from the situation. You got to remove yourself from the situation. And I know it's easier said than done, right? But as the professional athlete or the professional prospect, that you have a lot more to lose than this woman, than that guy who's trolling you, than any of these other people, because you're the figure. You're the figure. So you got to find a way to remove yourself from those situations. It's not like he went to a small school and he didn't know that he didn't get any. He went to school. He went to again. He went to was it Pittsburgh? What damn school he went to? It doesn't even matter. He went to one of those. He went to a big time college, and he went to Pittsburgh. So at Pittsburgh, you're going to Clemson, you're going to wherever. It doesn't even matter. You're going to all these big schools, Miami, and so you're getting yelled at. You might get stuff thrown at you. You're getting cursed at. You got to learn how to remove yourself from these situations, man. And most of these athletes remove themselves from the situation. You don't get these stories. These things don't happen. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, man. So, but I do want to get all of the info, and before I like, literally come down on this guy. My biggest thing is remove yourself from the situation, because if you remove yourself, you ain't got to worry about being questioned or arrested by the cops. You ain't got to worry about it because you left. You was gone.
Yeah, but that's why he's the winner of the week. Should have removed himself from the situation. I couldn't have said it better. The NBA, bro. You've been keeping up with it, man. Whoa.
Yeah, man. So let's start because LeBron. I think LeBron is a calculated individual. And I think that he knows that
you don't say.
I think that he says things that he knows he can say. He can say, "Man, the sky is green," and it is going to be front page news. It's going to be on the A block of every sports show. And man, oh man, so they lost, and then they dropped down to the 6th spot. And he said whoever came up with the playing game needs to be fired. And I understood. I get it. He's older. He's what, 36 or 36, like 36, right? So he's getting long in the tooth per se, and he so he's saying these things, and he knows that people are gonna jump on it. There's no way he doesn't know that. LeBron James is way too smart. So I think that he doesn't want to play in that game. And I just think he was just he's trying to get some of the attention off of some of the other things going on. Some of the other things going on around his team, you know. So
okay, so I got a couple comments about that, right? So as a fan, I personally like the play-in game. Most of my teams are normally bottom feeder teams. A lot of the teams I root for. So this gives me hope as a fan that's going to come. Now it's ironic that your sentiments about a play-in game. I want to tell a quick story about Ant, and just bear with me because I'm gonna make it quick. So Ant strategically one time he planned a triple threat match, right? So it was equivalent to a play-in. It was equivalent, and I kind of got where LeBron was thinking, right? Because I almost had to participate in that triple threat match. And it wasn't about it being a triple threat match. It's just embarrassing. And I'm thinking like LeBron James is thinking like, yo, like I'm the king. Like I may be subjected to playing in a play-in game. And it's just not a good look. Like I'm, in my mind, the greatest player of all time. And you got me out here. You just thought me. The NBA has decided to thought me, and it's a possibility that they could have me in a play-in game. It's just a bad look for my brand. It's a bad look for my legacy. It's just a bad look. So out of frustration, because he's thinking, right, because he's watching these games like we're all watching these games, and we know we're like that. All right, Anthony Davis, he might be enough to stop the losses. And it's like, shoot, they got to bring LeBron back. So hopefully they don't get these losses. Then LeBron like, dang, man, my ankle ain't good. It'll never be the same. He had put that out there today. And you're going to subject me to the embarrassment of being in the play-in game. The person that came up with this idea, we have no choice but to fire him. We have no choice, because if I'm going to be embarrassed by playing in a play-in game, somebody's got to lose their job. They have to lose their job. So, I mean, just note to self that sometimes a triple threat or a play-in game might be good for whoever's viewing it, but the people that's participating in it might feel some type of way. Just keep that in mind.
I get it. I get it, man. I definitely do. But I think that, I mean, they're going to be some stars that's going to be playing in this play-in game in both conferences. Boston might end up in the play-in game. Portland. You got Dame Dollar. He might end up in the Steph. It's probably going to be in the play-in game. So, I mean, we know LeBron missed a month and some change of basketball. I mean, and we saw how the team regressed without him. I mean, without him and AD, they struggled. They were struggling just to stay afloat. So, I mean, it is what it is. But I'm not gonna say he's crying. I'm just gonna say he's frustrated.
Yeah, this is the time of year. This is the time of year where he wants to be rested up. He wants to be, on a minutes restriction. He wants to be out there, but not really playing hard. He wants to drop 18, drop a good 10 assists. So you're right. So the plan. So his plan is his original plan was, shoot, once we get down to the last 8-10 games, right, good.
That ain't in the plans no more, because now it's like I'm fighting for my life here. What do you want me to do? I don't want to play 33 minutes or 40 minutes. My ankle hurt. You know how it is when you get a little older. Like it start raining and your knees start hurting. So he's starting to feel all of that, and and all those miles are catching up. But I'll say this: LeBron James spends millions of dollars on his health and staying in shape. If you believe for 1 second that his ankle will never be the same. You're crazy. I don't believe that one. I think that
I do believe it.
Nah,
and I'm not saying that he's still not the greatest player playing in the NBA now, but I'm listening, and I think that he's done the math. He's looked at the schedule. He knows his team. He knows basketball. He's a smart guy. He's like, yo, these members are going to have me in this play-in game.
I don't think they're going to
care. Hey, he just had to put it out there like, damn, y'all got me really stressing over here. Like, I may be in this play-in game. And you're right. The other conference is going to have a good team in there, but LeBron ain't trying to hear that. He's sitting there thinking like, he ain't trying. But speaking of play,
go ahead.
Speaking of playing game, shout out to Steph Curry. My God, let's show that man some respect. Put some respect on Steph Curry's name. He is out there. How you say it? Cooking or smoking or hotter than fish grease. I mean, whatever.
Hey, D, all of the above. All of the above.
Man, he is out there torching cats. And Draymond Green is right. Nobody wants to go against him. They may win, the other team may win, but damn if he ain't gonna get his. My God. Shout out to the Knicks too. Give the Knicks some love. Give the Knicks some love. Yeah, give the Knicks some love.
I got you. Hey.
Tom Thibodeau, Coach of the Year. What do you think?
Ooh, I don't know, man. I mean, that coach in Phoenix. I don't know. Phoenix is a 2 seed. I don't know. I don't know if you could just Tom Thibodeau, Coach of the Year, just throw that out there just like that. I think, you got to look at that guy out in there in Phoenix, man, because,
I'll tell you what, right? If you took the Phoenix Suns roster and you took the New York Knicks roster and you said, hey, we got to pick 5 players apiece, right? 9 of those players will probably come off the Phoenix Suns.
Nah.
You probably pick Julius Randle, maybe
RJ
Barrett.
Nerlens Noel.
You wouldn't pick him.
Nerlens Noel is doing a hell of a job for the Knicks. What are you talking about?
He's doing a hell of a job, but you get to pick the players off of Phoenix too. Like, it doesn't matter what team they're on. Like so you just picking 5 guys? Just picking 5 guys could be off of either team. That Knicks team, you may get 2, 3 is a stretch. And this is not to take away from anything Monty Williams is doing, right? Because he's doing a phenomenal job, and to be second in the West is a tremendous job. But let's not act like Devin Booker is not that guy. Let's not act like Chris Paul in the first ballot Hall of Famer, and let's not act like DeAndre Ayton wasn't the first round draft pick. That team, he's the number one overall pick. That team
was Derrick Rose. He was. He's a former MVP. He just put up 20.
What year? What year is Derrick Rose in?
He's in, I think, 9 or 10.
Yeah, he's like in 10, and he's not a consistent person that you can count on. I mean, he's there as more of a veteran presence that understands how Thibodeau operates, and he's.
Monty Williams should be the Coach of the Year, man. We're going to
Tom Thibodeau.
Listen, 2nd in the West or 4th in the East. Which one are you choosing? I'm going 2nd in the West because listen, hold on, and I'll tell you this. They were 2nd in the West when LeBron and AD were playing, right? They were like one of the hottest teams in the NBA. And mind you, the Clippers still had Paul George and Kawhi Leonard, and they added all those other pieces. The Jazz still had those guys with what's his name? You know who the hell they had. Denver still had Jokic and all they had. Portland still had who they had. All Phoenix added was Chris Paul. And mind you, yes, they were hot in the bubble last year. They were undefeated in the bubble.
Undefeated, yeah.
They were undefeated in the bubble. But okay, that's fine and dandy. Nobody said Phoenix, oh, you got to look out for Phoenix. They're going to be a top 4 seed. Nobody said that.
But people knew Phoenix was going to be a playoff team. People didn't know the Knicks. People didn't know the Knicks. You know, if you would have told anybody outside of a New Yorker and just random New York Knicks fans like myself that the Knicks would have been 4th in the East, people would have laughed you out of the room. Laughed us out of the room. Matter of fact, we got kicked out the room. Get out of here. You don't know what you're talking about. You don't know sports.
You're right. I would have just shut down the show. I would have said, nope, show's over. I don't know what the hell Scotty talking about. We out of here, and I would have just shut it down. Wouldn't even have played the music. I would have just said, we out.
He been out. Been out.
With that being said, Monty Williams having that team as a 2 seed right now and can possibly get to the 1 seed, you know, that is tremendous. And let's be honest, I think that the East is tougher than it's been like recently, but the West is still a tougher conference. Like, I mean, the West is still a tougher conference. It is what it is.
Talent. They've got more talent on that team. Tom Thibodeau has that team.
It doesn't matter.
Tom Thibodeau has that team overachieving. He has them overachieving. He has gotten the best out of those players in his first year. He came in and said, you know what? I got these players. I'm going to adapt my philosophy. I'm going to adapt my offense, and we're going to play. And we're going to go out there and play.
Well, no,
the defense too.
Yeah, Tom Thibodeau's a defensive coach.
He's a defensive coach, but what he did was he surrounded Julius Randle. He made him the focal point of the offense. And he said, you know what? This is how we're going to play. We're going to make him the focal point. I'm going to play with what I got. I'm not going to make any excuses. I'm not going to say this is not the team that I didn't want. I'm not going to say when I get my players in, I'm going to go out there. I'm going to devise this system. I'm going to get these players to buy in, and I'm going to coach them up, and I'm going to be fourth in the East. And you got to get that man. Put some respect on his name.
No, absolutely. You know, he was my old coach. But look, we made a little bit of mistake too. We made a mistake, and I think I don't know if this is going to change, but Phoenix is first. They're tied for first in the West. They're tied for first.
That doesn't change my argument. I mean, shout out to him. He did the second best coaching job in the NBA.
He did the first best.
He's going to take the
Who? So you got Julius Randle. He's an all-star.
Look, man, I don't know. Julius Randle is balling, and Julius Randle is always caught. I guess like not a bad break, but for whatever reason, people have not given him his respect that he deserves. He played really good with New Orleans. I will say this: when they signed him, as a Knicks fan, I was just like, okay, it's Julius Randle. He balled out.
No. He didn't just say, it's Julius Randle. Oh, no, we're not going to do that. You went on a rant of all. You better, you know what? I will post that. If I have to. Recall that. Oh, you don't recall when you didn't get Kevin Durant and you got, oh, my, let me go find that clip. Scott, really? It wasn't no, hey, man, yo, we got Julius Randle. We going to be all right. You gave the Knicks win of the week when they signed Julius Randle. Are you kidding me? There wasn't it's Julius Randle. He's all right. No. Absolutely berserk.
I went berserk because we didn't get Kevin Durant and we didn't get Kyrie Irving and said that they were going to just build through the draft. I went berserk on that. I went berserk on them giving up Porzingis for nobody. And it was just, it was a rough, dark space for me as a basketball fan. It's been tough, man. It's been tough having a team and not being able to root for a team.
So now you're saying Thibodeau Coach of the Year, Randle MVP. Who else? Randle gonna get most improved too, right? Who else? Who else? Yeah, shit. Quickly or whoever, 6th man of the year. So the Knicks gonna get all the awards and lose in the first round.
I mean, realistically, Randle, he's not going to get the MVP, but he should be in the conversation.
He should.
He should be in the conversation. The top 5.
I agree.
I agree.
Top 5. He should be top 5 in the vote. And I agree. I think that him being the focal point on the Knicks, and one is New York, so you're gonna get a bump there anyway. And then him being an all-star this year, and him playing. I mean, he's playing he's playing amazing. You know what I'm saying? And I'm happy for him because I know he got. I think Julius Randle was a number 2 pick, right? Or he was like number 2 or number 3. He was up there. I think
he was top 5. He was a top 5 pick.
He definitely was a top 5 pick. And I mean, look at the top 5 picks you got on that team, man.
He didn't have a bad career with the Lakers, though. I mean,
he was expendable.
Well, he got hurt his first year. I believe his second year, he was probably around 10 points, probably 8 rebounds. And then after that, he's been a walking double-double.
Yeah. And he's averaging 24 and 10 right now, 6 assists.
Yeah, 6. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, man. I'll say this. He was a number 7 pick. So he was a top 10 pick. I thought he was higher than that. But I tell you that this is gonna sound crazy, but I like what the Knicks are doing. They had to get an old Bulls coach to do it, but I like what they're doing. They got World Wide West, behind the scenes running the show. I mean, it's just like Washington, right, in football, and they're actually starting to do things the right way and not just do things off of emotion. They got a black vice president. Maybe they hired a woman, the women on their staff because of everything that's been happening, possibly. But again, you can see that the culture is shifting and the culture is changing. And they're doing things the right way where you're not looking like a laughing stock, and for even the Cowboys, Washington, Knicks, those are teams in big markets that ultimately were looking like laughing stocks in their respective leagues, and you can see that things are shifting now, right? And that's a good thing. I think that is a good thing, and when the Knicks are half decent or good, I guess they say it's better for the league. I don't think it is one
Most
way or the
valuable
other.
franchise. Most valuable franchise is better for
In
the
what?
league.
In what?
In basketball.
Oh, in basketball. Okay, I was just making sure that in
basketball.
Yeah, I was going to say because they wouldn't even be top 10 in the NFL, but and that's another subject for another day. I got a question before we get out of here. I do got a question for you, and I want people that are watching right now to chime in as well. What do you think is harder to win, a Super Bowl or NBA championship? A Super Bowl or NBA championship? What do you think is more difficult to win?
It's a 2-part question. I think Super Bowl is harder to win.
Okay.
I think in basketball, you have a top 4 teams, right? Every year, pretty much. And if you're a specialist that's really good with your job, you can possibly latch on to a LeBron, a Kevin Durant, a Steph Curry, and your odds of winning is a lot easier than in football, to where I think the worst to first, it's unpredictable. Other than really the run that the Patriots kind of went on, it's just really unpredictable to who's going to win the Super Bowl each year. I think in football, it's rare that you can just outright predict it. It's a little bit more any given Sunday in football. And basketball, for the most part, we know who is going to come down to before the season even starts.
All right. So I was gonna try and like just go against, because I already knew what I was gonna say. But when you said football was harder, I was like, damn, he might be right. But I do think that well, first of all, I think it's hard to win a championship regardless of whatever sport you're in. I think it's very difficult to win a championship. But I agree. I do think that it's harder in football because I understand what you were saying about worst to first and things of that nature. But I think that in football, you got 11 people, and you need 11 people to do their job correctly every play, for the most part, or things could get all screwy and get screwed up. In basketball, you could isolate. You can you definitely have more. You definitely have, if you need 2 stars. If you got 2 stars, you can definitely get to the finals. And 2 stars and a coach, you can definitely get to the finals, or even 3. So I'm not say definitely, but you can get to the final, get to the finals. It's just a lot more to it with football and with trying to get to the championship than it is with basketball. I think it is easier, if that's the word you can use. I don't know if easier is the word, but I think it's more difficult to get to a Super Bowl than an NBA championship. Now, the basketball people will argue that, well, in the NBA, you gotta in order to win a championship, you gotta win 16 games. Football, you could get hot at the right time, and you just got to win 3 games. If your team is a top, if your team is a 1 seed, you only got to win 3 games to win the Super Bowl. In basketball, you still got to win. You still got to win a best out of 7 for 4 rounds. And I can get that because not only are you playing 82 games, 72 this year, you're playing 82 games. Now you possibly can play another 28 games if you go 7, 7, 7, 7, 7. So I can see where the argument could come from there, and your body breaking down and things of that nature. So
yeah, but I also feel like if you're a shooter or a 3-point specialist in the NBA, and a good shooter, you'll always have a place on a championship roster. Like, they'll always make room for you if you can shoot. Right. You will always find, I'm not going to say always, but for the most part, you can find a home. Teams are always looking for shooters, especially really good teams, always looking for shooters. And you have a place on the bench if you can shoot. And I think you can latch on a lot easier than in football. I suppose if you're a good punter, you'll always have a job or something like that. But
a good punter? You got punters that's been in the league.
You got
years, or a long snapper.
Yeah.
You can last in the league a long time. But it's definitely harder to win a Super Bowl. I think that the Patriots and Tom Brady were an anomaly. Will you ever see a run like that, like a 20-year run like that again? It's highly unlikely. Yeah, it's highly unlikely. So All right, man. You got anything else, man?
Nah, man. Just enjoy the time off.
So next week we'll have I think the episode with President Abdullah be running. So you can check that out again. If you want to check it out now, you can check it out now. But we'll have that on like live and stuff like that. So you can check it out. But I think a week off, and then we'll come back in 2 weeks with some new stuff. We may have a contest, a giveaway, whatever. So it'll be episode 200. So I think that it'll be pretty dope, and we'll go from there. But follow us on Instagram, the Off the Record Show, Facebook. You're already here, but Facebook, Off the Record, YouTube, Off the Record Show. What else I'm missing? Twitter, the OTR brand, all that other stuff. We'll put it online and stuff like that. But again, thank y'all for watching. I think that Scott's crazy if he thinks that Tom Thibodeau is going to win Coach of the Year. He'll probably be number 2.
We'll see.
Well, hold on before, because I don't, New York is they don't. So I think that if Tom Thibodeau wins it, it'll be because he's in New York, and that's it. If he was in Oklahoma City, I don't even think that they would even, So, wasn't Billy Donovan Coach of the Year last year? No, he wasn't Coach of the Year. No, I think Billy Donovan was Coach of the Year, wasn't he? I forget. I mean, but he did a good job with OKC. But anyway, all right, man. This is Off the Record. I'm Anthony Adebayo.
What's Scotty B?
We out of here.
Anthony Adebayo.
With you there, but if you're a coach, do you take that chance? Yes.
You can reach us at the Off the Record Show at gmail.com. Anthony Adebayo and the most accurate sports coverage. Scotty B's Fantasy 5.
We're different from any other sport.
His sophomore year. Comes back and says, you know what?
And your boy, Scotty B.